People of Reddit, what's one seemingly insignificant decision slash mistake you made in your life that actually completely changed your life? This is pretty mundane, but my freshman year of college, I decided on a whim to do a favor for a classmate I didn't even like. This favor involved going on a long bus ride, on which I met another classmate, and we hit it off, and ended up dating. That relationship didn't work out, but after we broke up, he decided to introduce me to his new girlfriend who lived in this other dorm across campus. He was mostly just doing this out of spite, to prove she was better than me, but I hit it off with her, and ended up moving into that building the next year, and making several friends who are still in my life over 20 years later. And almost everyone I know now can be traced back Kevin Bacon style to someone in that dorm. So, if I hadn't been a dormant on 2 occasions my freshman year, I would know a completely different set of people and I have no idea what my life would be like. Just goes to show how much of a positive impact service can be in life. I completely agree with you, but allowing yourself to be walked over by others is also one of the worst things you can do for your own mental well-being in the long run. I know that's not strictly the same as simply being a giving person, but sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two when you're in the moment, having things asked of you. When I moved to the Idaho many years ago, it was up to me to find a house to buy that could house my family and my sister-in-law and her 2 kids. I looked at many different houses in several neighboring cities before deciding on one. Sometimes when I drive by the other houses I wonder how different our lives would be. The friends my kids and nephews have would be completely different. My one nephew had a very close friend die in a car accident a few years ago, and I can still see the hurt in his eyes to this day. He would have never met that kid, and wouldn't have known the pain of losing a very close friend. That's true, but at the same time, he wouldn't have had that close friend in the first place. I really hope you don't blame yourself for bad things that happen in conjunction with you choosing to live where you did. It is absolutely not your fault that stuff like that happens, and if anything, it's great that you put so much effort into finding a suitable home for you and your sister-in-law's families. No, I do not blame myself. Just sometimes when I pass a house I looked at I wonder what would have been. I stopped drawing. It was my biggest dream to be an artist ever since I could hold a pencil. At one point it frustrated me to not see any progress and being stuck in an ongoing creative blockade, so I stopped completely. I regret it extremely. This was several years ago. It still drives me crazy to know how good I could be now if I didn't stop, and every time I start again this haunts me so much I cannot continue. But you will be so good in several years if you start again now. That's something I really like to read, and I still think of this. I'm only 26 yo. I still have a ton of time. Yet exactly this bothers me. It's like a ongoing circle of regretting to stop drawing, starting new, frustrating over the fact that I'm still as bad as I was when I stopped, or even worse, stopping again, regretting it, and so on. I don't even know why my brain does this, or how to break this at the getting frustrating point. This is the one I cannot break. But before everything, do you like to draw? Didn't spend as much time studying for 2 exams on the same day in my second semester of university as I should, and failed 2 classes as a result. I was in education to try to become a high school teacher. The classes were kind of important for the degree, and the department rules were that your GPA had to be a certain amount to stay in the program, which mine had fallen under, so I withdrew from the program. The next year I took it easy to try to get out of academic probation and took a business course. I did well enough to get out of probation and felt that business was suitable for me. Ended up getting a degree in it, and 2 years later landed a job that suits my skill set almost perfectly, and I'm thriving in it. Had I not failed those classes, I may have stuck in education, but I probably wouldn't have enjoyed being a teacher, and may have ended up back at square one instead of quickly transitioning to something that is suited for me. Had a pick your own word for a spelling test at middle school. Chose meteorologist, practiced over the weekend, and came to class to do it. Teacher accused me of cheating in front of the whole class, decided that I can't possibly know how to spell that at my age, and failed me. I only recently found out just what an impact it had on me. My school books, before, were all maximum effort, extra work, extra homework, and after asking my mum apparently I used to do it all without asking. The ones after me being accused of cheating are just bare minimum, and in high school I put in zero effort despite being one of the brighter kids in class. One teacher turned me from being an academic and probably lifelong self-motivated and high achiever into someone who just doesn't put effort in for themselves. Most annoying thing is I know where the root of my mindset is, but I can't figure out a way to undo it. During my freshman year I came back from work and started working on some homework. After a while I needed a break from it, so I walked down the dorms searching for people to talk to, found my roommate and a friend chilling in a room, started talking with them and how they wanted to travel over spring break. Eventually that idea really started to kick in and talked with a travel agent. I knew spring break couldn't happen, so I chose summer break. Ended up traveling over to Africa and hang out there for 3 months. Met lifelong friends including Americans that were there as well. Learned a lot about myself and how thankful I'm for the things I have here. I got to live in the villages with the people. Learned how to live day to day struggling off things like food and not getting bit by mosquitoes that have malaria. All because I took a break from my homework and wanted to chit chat. Joined a board game group. Just randomly went to one looking for things to do to not be lonely in the city when I moved. I finally found people who like me for who I am. We take interest in what we all do and enjoy the same activities and show each other new things constantly. When I was at my darkest time because of work, I could barely attend because of the work schedule and physical toll mover in the summer in New York City. And this group, who I had known for less than a year, all chipped in and bought me a board game I had been wanting for the longest time. I had friends for over a decade that barely spent $5 on me. I wouldn't give this group up for anything, and since then I've even helped the group grow and made even more friends and potential girlfriend. It's a landmark event in my life for sure, all because I just took a shot at doing something. To swipe right on a pretty girl on Tinder, shoot her a poem, and proceed to get a number. I had found a woman who recognized me for what I am and what I can do for others. Nothing worked out between her and I, but the lessons learned through the brief moments we shared together made me dedicate my life to others. The greatest lesson I learned is, a smile is the most powerful tool in anyone's arsenal. A smile is absolutely contagious. So even if you aren't happy or having a good day, force one out while walking on the street. You'd be surprised how many people will smile back or let out a little giggle. Perhaps you might brighten their day. Perhaps their smile brightened yours. You will never know how they felt, but you know how you felt. To the girl I met, you may never read this, but you are perfect. I hope you are still out there smiling as goofy as I'm now. First grade. Are you okay? I said yes. Should have told her I need help to get away from severely abusive parents. Wow. Did you eventually got out of that situation? Are you doing okay now? I was rescued after 15 years and got new parents, therapy, and medication. Doing much better now. I got enough food and only food for humans, normal clothes all day every day, and no more playtime, serving or punishments. I'm so happy for you. I cannot even begin to understand what you went through, but I'm so glad to know that you are doing better now and have everything you need and deserve. I'm happy for you, really. Thank you. I try to enjoy it, but 5 years in it still feels weird and undeserved. 7.5 years ago, I accepted an invitation to a pretty insignificant high school dance. 2 days ago I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. Who knew that a Sadie Hawkins dance so long ago and in getting to spend the rest of my life with my best friend. I actually started dating my boyfriend because of a Sadie Hawkins dance. I found out he liked me and we have been dating. It's going pretty well so far. I can't see into the future, but I hope things continue to go well. Good luck the relationship. I hope it continues to go well. Good luck my friend. A girl actually asking a guy out to Sadie Hawkins dance? Truly, like a fairy tale. Haha. Yeah, who knew it could really happen? I randomly let a yacht a bad play instead of skipping to the video after the 5 seconds passed. Don't know why. It was about intermittent fasting. It legitimately changed my life. I've been doing it since 2017 autumn and love it. I'm about to try this actually. Got any tips? I've always had weight problems and this diet has worked for me super well. I lost 15 kilograms in 3 months with intermittent fasting. September 2018, D's 2018. Went down from 106 kilograms to 91 kilograms. But had to stop because at the end of November I started weightlifting and the fasting didn't work well with gaining muscle strength. I commissioned a good artist on Tumblr. If I hadn't, I would never have gotten to know them, and now we are married. See? How did the whole thing escalate? We ended up talking about the pic in question and similar fandom. They had a popular AU, and I was a writer that wrote a few fics, so artistically, we fed each other. We got to know each other, and ended up asking them out, and flew to meet them in person a couple months later. We meshed great, and after about a year, we moved in together, and it's been great. It's incredible that I met them online, and have a spouse as a result of a silly cartoon pilot. Last year, I was driving on a pretty busy road, when I felt my hand started tingling, and I got really lightheaded. I had never felt these weird symptoms before then. Thinking I was probably just hungry, I turned into a fast food parking lot, right before I was about to reach the intersection. While in the drive-through lane, I had 2 grand mal seizures, and woke up in the air. One of the employees found me, and called 911. Nobody was hurt, and there was no property damage to anything. I still think about the what if had I ignored these symptoms, and had reached the intersection. I'm extremely fortunate. When I was at summer camp in 2016, I was having a conversation about Robin Williams' suicide as it happened like 3 days ago at the time. I said that I could have done the same thing as I was depressed at the time. The camp counselors heard me, and my mom picked me up. That started my journey through therapy and eventually meeting my psychiatrist. I was prescribed medication and I've been better than ever. It's been 2 years since I got on the meds, and I'm never looking back. My life and completely changed for the better. That is awesome. I'm so glad you are doing great.